Alright, so this is my first attempt at being a somewhat consistent YouTuber. Will it work out? I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, today I decided I'm gonna start this little series of showing you guys some drops in Fortnite. That basically is gonna educate you guys of the different drops that you can go to, whether it's for arenas, hubs, or even playground if you want. I don't care. But since it's educational and we're dropping, I'm gonna call it the Drop Dojo. I'm sorry, but it's the best that I could come up with, alright? So for all the drops in the series, I'm gonna go over how to drop there, the chest spawns available, farming materials, rotating from the drop, and fighting people within the drop, and any other cherry on top tips I could throw in for the drop overall. So that being said, today we're dropping at the one and only Lighthouse. I chose the Lighthouse because it's where I've been dropping for all the solo cash cups and solo arenas, if I could get into a game. So first thing on how to drop, obviously it depends on the bus angle and wherever the bus is. The same rule applies. You want to aim for the water around the lighthouse to get as low as you can. And there's a lot of water, so it's pretty hard to mess this up. Just make sure you don't drop too low. Because personally, I think landing at the top of the lighthouse is the best place to start looting. If it's contested, then the house or even the little shack also work as backups. When you're landing at the top of the lighthouse, if you don't make the top, you can also glide against the railing and you'll land at the opposite side of it, and you could just jump over the railing and get any of the floor loot and break the chest above you. So once you drop, you're gonna want to know your chest spawns, obviously. So in total there's 8 chests with your name on it, assuming nobody lands with you. So starting from the top of the lighthouse, you land on a chest, and if you get a sniper or AR, feel free to take shots if you have the laser. The lighthouse has 3 total chests. At the top, you make your way down the stairs and you'll see 2 more on your way out the front door. Then you head over to the house that has 3. 2 of them are in each parts of the roof. So one on the bigger part, one on the side, and then the third one is in the little library at the bottom floor. Once you get those 3 chests, you rotate over to the shack that has 2 chests, one inside and then the other one above you in the roof. So with those chests and the available floor loot, you should have a viable loadout and some shields. Also, with all the water around you, you got some obvious fishing spots that you might come across, but be careful for anybody that landed on the nearby islands that might rotate on you, because it's pretty easy for them to catch you off guard. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it sucks. So once you get your loot, you get to start your favorite time in Fortnite, farming for materials. Wood is simple. There's plenty of trees, bushes, definitely furniture in the house, and there's some pallets at the little shack. For brick, there's plenty of rocks around, but you'll max that while rotating since the Lighthouse Island doesn't have the absolute most. But there's enough to start. For metal, most of it will be at the little shack. At the house, there's an anchor at the front door that gives a decent amount as well. Besides those, you'll have to get majority of your metal rotating to the cars in the nearby 5 houses or the crashed plane, unless you really want to take the time to farm the lighthouse. But I never found it worthwhile to do so because of the circles. Now, landing at the edge of the map has some beautiful rewards. But also, you have the chance to get some complete garbage circles. Now, just like most drops, you got 2 options, boat or no boat. I personally like to avoid boats at all times because it's just so damn loud. I don't even want to hear it, and I don't want people taking free shots on me. Apparently when I ride a boat, I get lasered, but when I shoot at someone on a boat, it doesn't work, but whatever. That's a whole different story. That being said, if a circle is nearby, I'll just walk to where I gotta go, no problem. If the circle is just way too far, I'll force myself to use the boat, and then I have 3 options. I can use the boat on land, which I'm sure you know the risk, or I can use the boat through the 2 upstream rivers that go through the middle of the map and take that risk, you know, being loud and going through the middle of the map where most people will be rotating from. Or finally, my preferred method is if you loot and clear the drop quick enough, which you will eventually once you master it, you'll have enough time to just boat around the complete outskirts of the map to get to where you need to be. But keep in mind, I definitely found it to be the safest, but you really have to be quick to rotate because navigating completely around the map takes a long time. So if you do the boat route and happen to have a harpoon, you can also take advantage of all the fishing spots on your way into the circle. So you could change seats, fish, eat your fish, and just rinse and repeat until you get into the circle. You'll find enough fishing spots. Now for fighting in this area, it's pretty simple. Landing on top of the lighthouse, you can see anybody trying to contest you. So once you loot the lighthouse, you make your way down and you have height over the house. So you can double check, make sure was the roof broken into, you can see anybody else that moved in. If you're quick, you can steal a 4th chest from the shack next to the house. Usually that's like the last chest that they get to. So the other guy, they would only get 2 chests instead of 3. So whoever's in that house is probably the only threat to worry about. It doesn't even happen too often, but if somebody lands with you, loot what you can and assess your loadout. It's okay to dip. If it's competitive, then I would definitely consider it if you aren't confident with your loadout. At that point, I can't suggest much, but to win your fight. Box fight them or do whatever your loadout lets you do best. And then finally, just some quick tips to keep in mind with the drop. First tip, in the cash cup, I found that as I got more points, more players were dropping at or near the lighthouse, meaning in the beginning of the cash cup with 0 points, I landed alone most of the time and got all 8 chests to myself, and as I got more points, I went from landing alone to landing with 1 and eventually sometimes 2 other people contesting me. Hey bot, I know you like this one, and I like it too. If you get circled at Lighthouse, there's plenty of bushes if you plan on playing passive or for endgame, so you can save your materials from having to build bases. Beautiful. And then my third tip, if you're rotating east, look at the other island and make sure the coast is clear before dropping into this deep, I guess I'm gonna call it a ravine, but if you get held from down here, they'll definitely take advantage of it just because of how low you are and spray you, and it's literally the worst way to die. Hopefully you're now educated on dropping at the lighthouse. If you have drop suggestions, feel free to let me know and I'll check them out, and maybe it'll be another Drop Dojo episode. Anyways, that's gonna be about it. Thank you for watching. Peace.